What up, everybody? Welcome. This is episode 2, but I'm gonna let you know that this is our new podcast, Choppin Wood. Here we're just gonna talk bullshit, catch up, regular ordinary day things, conspiracies, all that other good shit, that y'all wanna, feed into and all that other shit. Also, we're still gonna do a test run podcast, but here we can go ahead and just do our own thing as far as like talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
It's our first episode of Choppin Wood. I think we recorded weeks ago, and then a lot of fucking technical difficulties in our lives and my computer. We finally got it up, and but I feel like this is a little bit more formal. This is our first real Choppin Wood pod.
Sure.
So we're I like that. So welcome everybody. I'm Quest Sparrow, aka 3-Point Phenom, aka God, Quest Almighty, aka that dude with the half-court Splash City jumper. What's your name, pal?
And it is your boy Groovy Mike, aka the Groovy One, aka Magna, aka all that other shit. So we're here just to talk some bullshit. So how you been, Cave? It's been a minute.
I'm getting over a sickness. Not COVID, but I still have a little bit of a whooping cough. Got vaccinated. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me, I'll be honest with you. But I feel better. I feel like I pulled through, and I'm ready for the Mortal Kombat movie coming out on HBO Max.
Oh shit. Yo, I can't remember. Did we talk about Godzilla and fucking King Kong?
I don't remember either. I don't know if we were gonna we didn't want to talk about it because we didn't want to spoil shit, or did you? Oh no, wait. Did you not watch it? Maybe that.
Okay. So then we never talked about it yet.
We never talked about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
But I'm glad you're feeling better.
Appreciate you.
Got your vaccination shot. Was it your first or second?
It was my first, Moderna. Yeah.
Cool. I got mine. Me and my fiance got ours. Got Pfizer.
Marcus. Anyway.
We're not here to promote any of that. And if you feel free to, if you want to get it, go get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. It's your choice. Whatever you feel comfortable with. We're just gonna let that out right now. We don't want people bashing us on other shit. So just whatever you feel. But so let's go ahead and get into King Kong versus Donkey Konger.
So okay, I watched it off rip first night it came out. I was pretty eager. I enjoyed the Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston, the Gareth Edwards. Was it 2014 or 2016 or something? You know what I'm talking about?
Did you say King Kong or did you say Godzilla?
I said Godzilla. The Godzilla, not the Matthew Broderick, which I really like actually. The one from 2001.
No, they say that's the first time I think I got into Godzilla. But go ahead.
Yeah. I like. I'm a huge fan of Godzilla and King Kong, monster, everything. I actually have. I don't know if you ever played PlayStation 2 War of the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar. It's like Rampage almost. You're a big ass monster. You fight each other.
Rampage.
You ever play Rampage?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite games.
Did you like the movie? The movie was not that good.
No, I did not. I don't think The Rock needed to be in that movie, but I didn't watch it.
Right. So anyway, the Godzilla, the origin of the MonsterVerse, I think they're calling it. Directed by Gareth Edwards. Was good to me. I like I said, I like big monsters. And then you had King Kong Skull Island. And you could touch on these after my little spiel here. But King Kong Skull Island, I'm a big fan of the Peter Jackson King Kong back in the day with Jack Black and Adrian Brody. Like I actually like the pace and tone of that movie. I think yeah, I know I'm going off on a little tangent here. Have you seen that movie, Peter Jackson one?
I'll let you go off before I get off my
point being, my biggest problem with that movie was what's her face? I don't know why I'm blanking on her name, but she did a lot of just staring. Like it'll be like 15 seconds of her just staring. What you were doing. Like and it would just be like a close up of her just staring. And like so I think you could have cut out an hour of that. It would have shortened the runtime. But so I'm a big fan, but then Kong Skull Island, it's like, oh, okay, you know, a new King Kong movie. I have my gripes about that. And then you had Godzilla, what was it, King of the Monsters? Mm-hmm. And then it finally has this showdown with Godzilla versus Kong. So it culminated for a few years, and I had some anticipation, some hype, and you know, the spectacle of it was visually, I feel like it was pretty crazy. But from a from a movie standpoint and a writing standpoint, yikes. Anyway, go ahead. What do you think?
So I saw the trailer sometime in March for it. I was pumped, and I'm usually don't really get too pumped about like any, you know, CGI shit like that. It doesn't really, you know, twist my girdle up.
Doesn't move your needle.
So I was, you know, it looked cool. So I was like, oh, this shit might actually be really be pretty cool. So let me check it out. So I didn't see it the day it came out. I saw it that weekend or later that week. No, because you saw it on the Thursday, right? So I saw it the next week. Yeah. I saw it next week, and I had to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters first. Not that I had to, but like I was trying to find it on Hulu, but that's the thing that popped up was Godzilla King of the Monsters. So I watched that, and
had you seen it before?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, like I said, the last time I seen anything of monster related to this kind of series was Godzilla in 1999. That was the last time I've ever seen anything of Godzilla. And I'm not a really big fan of King Kong, so like I never watched any of them, even the one with Jack Black. That's why I was like, I'll let you go first because I haven't seen any of them. But I realized that you had to watch the one in 2014 and 2019 and like some of the King Kong stuff because it all plays to this.
Sorta.
Well, in a sense where like you see the monsters and it's all like you see how they all like in King of Godzilla, King of the Monster, you see how it all just kind of goes.
Right. I mean the overall story arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, cool. And then I ended up watching that. Then I ended up finding a way to watch Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah. Shit was a disappointment. Granted, it's probably not meant for me and you though. It's probably meant for the kid that has no attention span, and whenever they fight, they're like, oh shit, they're fighting.
Right.
But yeah, so I didn't think I thought it was trash. I didn't think it was.
No, well, I guess now's a good point. Spoiler alert. I want to delve into the actual thing. If you're still listening and you haven't seen the movie, it's a popcorn movie through and through. Like it's bubblegum in a dish, you know. Why doesn't the writing fucking something make a wish? Point being, it's like my biggest gripe, well, one of my biggest gripes, is just the absence of logic. Like my biggest issue, besides the fact that the technology jumped like in 5-year span, because it's supposed to be like King of the Monsters happen and then this happens, like old girl's still in the film, so like the technology was sort of normalized back then in a sense. All of a sudden 5 years later or whatever, they have flying spaceships and shit. Like I mean, and as much as I love sci-fi, I like monsters, this and that, consistency is key. But why on earth did they chain Kong to a carrier and float him across the ocean to a fucking Antarctica or whatever, and then allow him to be attacked by Godzilla, chained up, and then why didn't Godzilla just grab his ass and dive down and eat immediately? So like it's not believable. Why would you? I understand, like, okay, for a really cool trailer, like Godzilla comes out of the water, and another thing, Godzilla just goes through here. Here's a freaking ship, and his spikes just break through a ship, like initially, but then the plot armor of the main characters on this ship, he decides to like come up and land on it in a sense. Like, why don't you just bash through? Point being, as cool as the spectacle may be, it was ridiculous. And then you have Kong hopping carriers, and then he fakes the death. I don't know why Godzilla let him go when they shot all the torpedoes or whatever in the fucking ocean. Why would that make Kong like be able to get out of his grasp? Point being, why didn't they just fly his ass to Antarctica or whatever in the first place? Like, Godzilla can't detect, flying vehicles. Like, why is there a little girl during the whole damn conquest? like I would not let my daughter or the girl I'm watching come with me to the flat Earth, hollow Earth theory in the middle of the Earth. Was she with them on that trek?
Maybe.
But why? And all of a sudden, someone said it in one of the reviews. Not one Kong's being monitored 24/7. Not one person realizes this girl's been teaching him sign language the whole time.
Right.
Like, and then, but like the tech, how do you all of a sudden, like, you have a planetarium or whatever that fucking has these 3D panels that make it look like he's, on Skull Island, and then the whole beginning was this like it tried to humanize Kong. Like, point being, the movie was ridiculous. And one of the problems with these kinds of movies is they need the runtime to be a certain amount, and it actually wasn't super long. I kind of respect them for that. But you go and see this movie for Titan on Titan action, big monsters fighting each other. But what that does is, it alienates, like, there's a void of actual, like, human characters that you care about. So they just gloss over the human characters. And then B, it makes it all about the action, and the fighting. And when you have monsters fighting, there's kind of, did you find it predictable that they were going to team up? Spoiler alert.
Yes. And I saw that, also another spoiler, when I saw that Mecha Godzilla was making a feature in this fucking movie. Yeah, they're teaming up. And Mecha Godzilla should have wiped the floor with them.
Right. It's a metal robot version of it.
Yeah, like, it was so stupid. Like I said, it was a nice homage to the old, Godzilla movies from Japan or China and all that. It was a nice homage. But yeah, to me, it was predictable. Also, if they make a sequel, I don't see why. What are they going to team up against someone else? The fucking three-headed dragon's going to come back?
See, that's the thing. Like, what they asked, like, why was Godzilla considered their savior? That motherfucker caused more damage than any other, like,
for real
Titan. And then all of a sudden, why was he just killing everything in this movie?
That's
so it doesn't make any sense. And then one of my biggest gripes too about any film, excuse me, is the inconsistency of tone.
Hold on, wait. Why was King Kong in like two different parallels of the world, and he's the king there? That threw me off. Maybe I have to watch the King Kong movies, but that threw me so off.
Well, and I saw a review or whatever that said, like with anything like sci-fi or fantasy or whatever, you can remove yourself for a story. Like, you can remove yourself one time for like a crazy, like a sci-fi, so-and-so can fly, or there's a big monster. But the more times you have to remove yourself from reality, of our reality, obviously the less believable it is.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, we're going to allow ourselves to engulf in this story about a gigantic monkey fighting a gigantic lizard.
Right.
And again, that sounds ridiculous, but like I love monsters, so I don't want to, just act like, 'cause I've had conversations with people where it's like, oh yeah, it was so unrealistic. So and so in Jurassic World was running with her heels the whole movie, and through a forest or a jungle, and how could she run from a T-Rex in her heels? And then someone's like, it's a dinosaur movie. It's like you're taking it too seriously. But it's not about the dinosaurs. It's about the reality of you can't run in heels through a jungle.
Right.
But so regardless of if it's dinosaurs or soldiers or whatever, but point being, one of my biggest gripes is the storyline of, again, old girl Millie Bobby Brown and the podcast host and her friend. Like, I don't know if you watch Stranger Things. I'm doubting you do.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't.
But Stranger Things it's like set in, like, they establish this tone of seriousness. Like if someone goes missing, like a kid goes missing, it's the talk of the town. There's repercussions and real human reaction, human behavior about like so and so's missing. But then it kind of gets more and more removed from that, and it becomes comedy. So like you have these kids infiltrating a base, with soldiers and security, and then like it's just so unrealistic in the sense of how they're reacting to the situation. So in this movie, and I know I'm probably sounding like I'm going off the deep end griping about this movie, but like you literally had the bad guy saying a speech, and then Mechagodzilla kills him.
He just dies. Yeah.
And then so a dude just died in front of him, and the guy's like, I really wanted to hear his speech.
And the dude controlling him dies.
Right. Oh, the dude, yeah. But yeah. I'm saying the podcast dude, the black guy, literally makes a joke about the dude dying. A guy just died in front of you. You will be scarred for the rest of your life. When there's implications, there's mental implications, and I'm just like, this is the stupidest storyline. And so it's one thing to be self-aware in a movie, to like understand, okay, yeah, people are gonna bring their dates to this. It's a popcorn movie. You don't have to be super serious and locked in. The demographic's probably like 13 to 16-year-olds, but it wasn't grounded in reality at all. And I know it's hard for the bigger and bigger they get, like in those universes, but it's like, what the fuck was I watching? I kind of tuned out, to be honest with you. Like,
and the fighting scenes were so short,
and that's what people are paying to see.
That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah,
like Mechagodzilla, like that fight was, in my opinion, stupid. But then to both team up, like, let Mechagodzilla win. Let's have a real sequel. Let it end there. Let that be the fucking cliffhanger, and let's have another sequel and see what the fuck happens from there. Like, that would have been cool to me. But then I'm just a regular guy in this world trying to make it.
Well, my thing is, one of the reasons, like, you kind of don't want to see either of them die, in a sense, if you're a fan.
Oh no, you don't, and I think that's why you had to have them team up.
Right, and they humanized the monsters so much. Like, they literally have expressions, and if like Kong is basically a baby in a sense. It's a humanized version of a gorilla that's just super gigantic, and so it has facial expressions, and it feels pain, and it has intelligence and stuff like that. So I'm like, they're not gonna kill Kong, so all of the like, oh, he almost died kind of thing, like it's almost like showing someone in a trailer that the good guy and bad guy are gonna fight at the end, and it's gonna come to them hanging off a cliff or something. So when you watch the movie, any type of like suspenseful, oh, is he gonna die or not, is not gonna happen, because at the end they're gonna fight on a cliff. So it's like Marvel movies. So and so is not gonna die. Captain America is not gonna die because the movie's a Marvel movie. So like, if death is the highest stakes for your story, there is no stakes for your story in a movie like this. What I mean?
No, for sure. And In my opinion, I think that's different because Marvel's such a bigger thing in my opinion than Godzilla. At least at this point in time, where like that franchise really just took over the last 14 years. You know,
do you like Marvel?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So because I waited a while to watch Endgame. I missed the theatrical release for whatever reason. I just never like got around to watching it, and I finally watched it.
Well, you're also a big Iron Man fan, so
I heard
I really wanted you to. I know that might have been the thing where you didn't want to watch it.
Right, but so it's one thing, knowing what happens, being spoiled, but then it's another thing. Okay, well, watching it unfold. You know, it's almost like knowing the outcome of the movie before you watch it. Like some movies do that; they show you the end, and then the whole movie's you watch how it happens or based on true story kind of thing. But Endgame actually kind of blew me away a little bit, to be honest with you. It had a lot of layers and depth to it that a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies didn't have. Like I was watching Thor, the second Thor movie, on TV the other day, and it, like that's not a bad movie, so to speak, but it's, that's unbelievable in a sense, like in Thor's world. So much setting up for Endgame that I enjoyed it. I actually really liked it, and I got crushed by some writer friends of mine for liking Marvel movies. But I like it. I mean, cinema doesn't have to be overanalyzed, but like I think we can all agree though, like the writing on a bunch of shit can be lazy, and that can be
for sure. I got the perfect example for you.
Whoa, what, you had a perfect example for me?
Yeah. So are you a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise?
Fucking awful franchise. I know I might get killed for that, but
so in my opinion, the first two, and that should have been it.
Wait, let me throw Tokyo Drift in there because Tokyo.
Okay, that's okay. I'll give. Okay, I've never seen it, but I'll give you that.
Okay, but well, I like that.
Yeah.
For reasons other than cars.
But for me, should have ended in 2. There was no reason to have up to 9, especially when the face of the franchise passed away, and the rest were just Like I don't. And then, have you seen the trailer for the 9th one?
I need to.
Yeah, you do, because it looks like and I saw some people write out when they see the trailer. They were like, "This looks like a Fast and the Furious movie, and Marvel had a baby."
Wait, John Cena's in this one?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure The Rock's definitely gonna make a cameo somewhere. They didn't say it, but I'm more than positive he will.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
They have Bow Wow making a fucking cameo. Yeah, and I thought the Asian dude died in like the 4th one or something.
Dude, he did. He died.
Back, and he's back to life.
Han or whatever his name is.
Well, yeah, and it's the one who eats the chips because he doesn't want to smoke cigarettes no more. Whatever, but yeah, like it's just so. I believe that they should have just ended it there. Let Paul Walker go make more movies somewhere else instead of holding to whatever contract they held him at, and let him do something else before his legacy had passed on from his tragic car accident. Granted, you know what I'm saying? They should just let him do, because he probably could have done way more stuff besides this fucking franchise.
Right. No, I'm watching the trailer right now.
And Vin Diesel, in my opinion, is no way a fucking action star. Like he's done action movies, but in my opinion, he looks shitty in them.
I feel like Vin Diesel is going through the motions at this point.
Because he's too old. He can't do none of that shit. And you see how he runs?
Yeah, I don't. And Vin, if you're listening to this, I have respect for you. Oh, there's the Asian dude who's back. That's crazy. Dude, he died. I watched him like explode. It didn't. Jason Statham. Aren't they doing Hobbs and Shaw? Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah, it was.
So like they went and did a sister movie, kind of like in the same universe.
Yeah.
Here's my
they're gonna get thrown in there somewhere. Trust me, that they'll just do it. Another beef I have, like, think of the first two, right? The first two movies, and look at this one. They're not even the same thing anymore. In a franchise, it should be the same thing. These aren't the same genre of movie.
This is a completely different movie than Fast and the Furious 1.
Yes.
And then even Fast and the Furious 2, when Tyrese came in, yo, Rome. Nobody calls me Rome, but my homeboy's Brian. You know, like there was like, I mean, obviously some banter, but you know, my thing. Okay, I'm watching this. I feel like I'm watching a Transformers movie at this point.
But that's the point of, like, it's so dumb. And like,
didn't Letty die too? Like, how was she back?
So that's my point with that. Like, she came back somewhere between the 5th and 6th. Like the movie where they let I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Ludacris?
No.
Is he still in it? He's still there, right?
He's still there. The main character, damn. Rest in peace. What's his name?
Oh, Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. My bad.
Oh, there's Ludacris. Yeah.
I don't even think they should have had a fucking farewell movie for him. Like, they literally pushed that on his name. That was a shitty movie in itself. And you know, just to make some money on him, trying to send him off, he had no dialogue at all. But yes, no, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was, like, obviously you could tell it was all fake. They said that they used his brother. I don't know how true this is. They said they used his brother as like his stand-in, but they CGI'd his face somehow because they looked alike, but not enough to where you can still tell it's not Paul Walker.
Right. Well, the technology can do that. Like Social Network, it was Armie Hammer and Josh Pence, and you know, obviously they had to manipulate Josh Pence's face every action or every scene. It's crazy.
Right. But yeah, I just think that they should just have stopped it at 2, your opinion 3, and that'd be it. And I don't even think Paul Walker was in 3, was he?
No, yeah, 3. I remember, obviously, like I said, I'm a fan of 3 because it's in Asia, and Natalie Kelly is in that movie. Point being, no, Tokyo Drift was like its own like standalone thing. I remember, I remember Letty coming back at some point. I remember seeing, you know, drips and drabs on TV because it's, you know, it is a complete money grab at this point.
Oh, no, it definitely is.
Like, you have people dying, coming back, but when they like start parachuting out of planes in cars and like skating like on ice in tanks, fighting submarines and stuff, like it's like G.I. Joe. There's a reason why that movie didn't do very good. It's you took an actual contained idea of street racing and crime and heist and made it totally believable. Different. Yeah, I remember I had a friend who used to be super into cars and like loved the shit out of that movie. But then it became like a spectacle, and it's now an action. Like that trailer.
No, they're like secret agents in this fucking last 5 movies.
Vin Diesel is like he's like surfing on a giant ass diesel worm vehicle and running through it. Like, I mean, I guess it's like, hey, let's see how ridiculous the spectacle can be, and people are gonna go see it. That's the problem as well.
I won't.
I will not either. But I mean, like, those movies make like $1 billion a movie.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, and I get it. That movie isn't for us. It's for the new kid to see it because that's what the new kid is into.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were brought up on the first 2 or 3 movies. That was actually about car racing in the streets, whatever illegal activity was going on, you know, in the movies. There was no other motive of like big fucking $100 million deals going on, trying to rule the world and all this other bullshit.
Like they could have expanded. I mean, like it was street racing and crime, and they made a believable story. But when they went to action first, like I don't know if what Fast whatever it was, but when like Hobbs and Shaw like break out of prison, there's like a prison riot, like, and there was all this action going on, and like, I mean, you can say like the action is impressive in its own right, so to speak,
right?
But it's absent of believability at all. Like it's not like I believe Paul Walker in the first one was like a cop trying to figure out what the hell's going on with them robbing these things, and like, oh, it dates back to these street racers and that's how they're getting away with it and whatnot. And then number two, him and Rome trying to figure out blah blah blah. Like I get it. And then Tokyo Drift was like a standalone story. You haven't seen Tokyo Drift?
No.
You should. It's good. I mean, obviously the concept is like, ooh, let's add drifting into it, but it's still like racing based. Do they even race in these shows, in these movies?
See, that's the thing. They may have that goes back to the Godzilla thing. We wanted to see fighting. We got like 15 minutes total worth. That's probably how much racing, maybe even less, is in these movies now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like 10 minutes of racing the whole movie.
And they're all like, like you said, special agents. I don't know. It's just
like, when did that even become a thing?
I think Fast needs to slow down and fucking dissolve, because how many are they gonna make? You know what I mean? Like like you said,
I think it was 12 that they had, but
they're planning on making more.
That could be out my ass, but I thought it was 12.
And so how do you feel? Obviously, like we're not film critics or anything. I'm trying to be a filmmaker, so I have a little bit more skin in the game than the average moviegoer. But like Martin Scorsese says, Marvel
check
movies,
out our short films that we have made, please.
Oh yeah, Chronocopious, some slight, and we got some things in the works. You guys will hear more about that coming soon. But
check out Test Run Podcast.
Yeah, and Quest Groove Network, which you're watching right now. The point being, Scorsese says like Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like a Kong vs. Godzilla, the Fast, series, they're not real cinema, and he got bashed, like butchered for that. And I want to say, I think that's kind of the pro and con of film is, I think there is a place for Fast 12 or Fast Forward or whatever the fuck it's called. Or Marvel movies.
They don't have the title with Fast Forward. That'll be funny.
Fast Forward to number 12. But then, like Kong vs. Godzilla, where it's just a visual buffet of effects, and there's not any depth and layers and theme and character and all this stuff. I do think if you want to go on a date with a girl and or a man at you're 16 or whatever, go see that PG-13 popcorn movie. So I don't think they should not make them. I wouldn't tell anyone necessarily like, don't make this film. It's not hurting anybody. Do it.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, like there's no substance to it at all. And it's just one of the things is that also it's oversaturating the market. So there is a con to it, because now studios and shit want to just make remakes, reboots, sequels. Nothing's original in a sense anymore, which is why I'm actually gravitating more towards shows like on HBO Max, Netflix, because that is where you can really get into some new intellectual properties that can really delve into a storyline. Instead of a 2-hour movie, you can have an episodic 16 hours, or 40 hours of multiple seasons that, Netflix can pay for, because they say, we don't give a fuck. We're just going to put out, we get millions and millions of dollars. So, but yeah, no, those movies are like, I know some people who that's what they enjoy. If that's your bread and butter, then get a knife and spread. But that's not my cup of water at all. And yet I did watch Godzilla vs. Kong, and I can't watch Furious anything.
Oh, yeah,
How is it even called? Is it Fast or is it Furious? Because
right?
I don't understand. Let me know in the comments if that's your favorite movie and why. And is Vin Diesel even? You know what I did here? I heard him and The
Vin
Rock.
Diesel.
They like butted heads and shit. A lot of ego going on.
There was like a scene in the movie, like they showed Paul Walker's fucking farewell, because I did watch that one, but the reason I watched it because it was I wanted to really see how they ended up Paul Walker. I wanted to see that. I wanted to really see how they played that he was gonna, like, they put him in this movie.
Right.
I forgot who it was. One of the fuckers fucking hit like a big ass brick cylinder with their shoulder, and nothing happened to him.
Oh no, I think I've seen that on TV.
Vin Diesel, yeah.
And weren't phased at all.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, and how we said the same thing with like the hills running to get from a dinosaur. We get it's a movie. But this was supposed to really be based on, like, not on anything true, but like real life street racing and that kind of shit. Yeah. And all of a sudden this shit turns Vin Diesel's a superhero all of a sudden. Like
am I watching Hancock with Will Smith? Like I feel like if someone gets punched or stabbed or shot or, you know, thrown off a building, they should be hurt. You know,
I'm surprised they haven't brought back the dude that died in the first one movie. The little nerdy dude.
Oh yeah. Well, see, like my point.
Why haven't they brought him back if they're bringing everyone else back?
If like someone dies, like they all feel it. You know what I mean? Like there's repercussions, there's implications.
Yeah.
And then also too, yeah, and in these movies now, like someone dies, or I mean, I don't know how many people die now, but like my one big thing, if someone dies in your movie, don't have the main character make a joke about it. Like there are certain situations in life where people joke, you know, out of, you know, an awkward necessity and how they're dealing with things, but not like I'm drinking a Taco Bell cup, like, hey, want to sip? That person dies. Oh man, I'm so thirsty. Why would I ever say that? But these movies are just doing that, and it's like Gemini Man. Not to go down that rabbit hole, but did you ever see that with Will Smith?
I have not, but I probably should if you're saying it's a rabbit hole.
Well, rabbit hole meaning like talking shit about another movie, because that movie was supposed to.
It wasn't his best work.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be this movie that symbolized we have this new technology, we can, you know, blah blah blah, and he de-aged sort of like the Irishman, but again, the movies need to have a fundamental basis, like a story, a foundation of a character story. And when you just have these movies that go off of a concept instead of actual like fundamentals of, you know, you don't care about the actual story, or the story is like second to like the spectacle of the fight. And, you know, even John Wick has more of a believable story than this shit.
Right.
Don't know if you're a John Wick fan. But it's like you can have crazy action things happen, but it just needs to be grounded in our reality if that's the story you're telling. No, I mean, that's all. Sure. I mean, I'm pissed. But no, I mean, I don't know if this episode's you know, I don't know if we meant it to go talk about filmmaking and, you know, shit, but I got a lot of pent up energy when it comes to that.
But yeah, y'all, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Remember, this will now be on Quest Groove Network, again, home of Test Run Podcast, and now Choppin' Wood Podcast. Go like, comment, subscribe, all that other good shit. And again, we're just gonna keep out here just chopping.
I'm gonna get my battle axe sharpened. I forgot it again this episode. That's all me. The dude from LA Fitness that I play basketball with, he grew up in the mines of Moria. Those of you who made it this far know who I'm referencing. He stole my fucking battle axe. But yeah, we're just gonna be chopping wood and taking names and talking about anything and everything. Maybe we'll talk about my UFO experience next episode. I don't know. Okay. But all right, y'all keep on chopping.
Keep on chopping, y'all.
All right.